Welcome to the Fantasy Happy Hour. Fantasy Happy Hour. Presented by Sportsneak. With your hosts, Justin Sauce and Terry Licious. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Welcome back. Week 15 Fantasy Happy Hour, episode 77 or 76. I forget off the top of my head. A good, exciting Thursday game coming in. We got the 9-4 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 8-5 Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams coming off rather big wins this weekend. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 48-9. Big dub there. That was a pounding. And then the Chargers beat the Giants 37-21. This is a game where I'm thinking you're going to be leaning towards a shootout here, Taryn. And lots of great options on both sides of the ball, but let us know what you got for this one.
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to consider that this is a division matchup too, and the Chargers hold the current season series 1-0. So they won earlier this season against the Chiefs 30-24. So if they win tomorrow, they're going to be tied up, but they'll definitely have the advantage going into the playoffs here with possibly the first seed if they can win out. So that's important. So the Chargers definitely want this game. Chiefs are back looking like the Chiefs again, but mostly through their defense. Their defense has looked really good the last few weeks. Mind you, their opponents have not looked overly great. But they're definitely playing more through their defense and less through Mahomes, which is great. And then Herbert's just been putting up big numbers again, but he has a plethora of guys that he's been throwing to. So he's kind of a fantasy option on his own because he has so many weapons there now. And it looks like every one of them will be back. But I'll jump to the injuries first and foremost. I'm injured, ankle injury, questionable for the week. But if we move on from that, if we look at the Chargers side, Eckler, Cook, and Williams didn't practice yesterday, Monday, but you're going to see that a lot once you hit week 15. So I expect all three to play. Keenan Allen off the COVID list. Sounds like he'll be cleared for Thursday. So expect every option there. I think the only other questionable is DJ Parham, but again, it seems minor. So just watch the news on that. Chiefs offense, I saw 0 Q tags. So we're talking everybody is in this game. All their running backs are back. Everybody's kind of playing. So you have lots of looks across the board. So last game, like I said, I think it was 30-23 or 30-24. So I think you're going to see a shootout. And lately the silo games, holy moly for scoring. That Sunday nighter, the Green Bay and Chicago had, I think, 57 points in the first half. And then last week, the Vikings 29-0 and almost lost. But mind you, let's not get into that anymore. But I jumped down, and if I look at a DK lineup, I think my first, and you got to get weapons in here, and they're all expensive, and you probably want 2 quarterbacks. Like these are 2 teams that play through their quarterback. Their quarterback tends to score really well. So I like picking somebody that discounts me at captain, and I like Jalen Guyton. He's kind of the third receiver in. So you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and then you have Guyton, and he was kind of missing, I think, for the first 12 weeks, and then all of a sudden they started using him now. So he's their deep ball guy. So last 2 weeks, 17, 18 DK points. He's going to be the guy to get you that 60-yard touchdown, and I think in this type of game environment, you're going to see a lot of long bomb throws to try to get on the scoreboard. So, of course, I'm going to stack him up with Herbert, who's been unbelievable. So I like building this lineup with 2 QBs. So, of course, I'm going to go over to Mahomes as well. He kind of looks like he's back. And I think we should consider a Tyreek Hill spot here. Derwin James looks questionable. So there's a lot more injuries on the defense if you dive into those, but I didn't go too deep into it. But Derwin James is their safety, one of the better players. Likely going to be out, it looks like. So I like Hill to just break it over the top and kind of, kill this game. So 2 long bombers with their quarterbacks, and then you still need to find savings. Like though that I think left me with $8K left. So I thought I like a guy like Darrell Williams to fill that, to be different. He's the second running back there in KC, but he catches the ball more. He's the third down guy. So I really like him. He's had a touchdown in the last 2, and he sees kind of that passing work, and particularly in the red zone. Edwards-Helaire will get more of the rushing work, but Darrell Williams, good like cheap option to maybe see 10, 12 points. And then I was looking at either Steven Anderson or I think it's TJ Parham. So those are 2 tight ends out of LA Chargers. They like their tight ends a lot, especially for touchdowns. So I think you pick one. If Parham's out, I really like Steven Anderson. He tends to fill that role. Jared Cook will get more volume than both these guys, but these guys tend to get those like 40-yard deep kind of seam route looks. So those are kind of the 6 lineup builders I liked. I had a couple options I mentioned below. I don't mind a Chiefs onslaught here, the way their defense has been playing. You could consider doing like the Kelsey, Hill, Mahomes, Chiefs D, cheap guy, and then, run it back with someone. And I think maybe you consider who that is. It'll really depict your price. Eckler's always an option. He's had the bit of the fumble bug lately. So I just watched that. Chiefs D's look better. So I don't know if I love it, but he is a guy that can break it for them. Allen and Williams, I don't like taking guys off the COVID list. So Keenan Allen's coming back. He is there, going to get the most volume of any of the receivers, but coming off the COVID list, just watch. They tend to come off and maybe have a bit of a slip game. But Joshua Palmer is a guy to watch as his backup. He's like the slot backup, and you'll see his score sheet. And a lot of guys will be chasing him because he's looked really good the last 2 weeks, but that's because Keenan Allen got hurt and was on COVID. So he's the guy that's primarily going to fill that role. So with Keenan Allen back, he kind of disappears again. He might be that long shot, cheap option you could take though. So I don't mind either of those. The defense on the Chargers side, not a fan. But yeah, you could play this as like a lower scoring game, and I think that's the best way to be different. I still think there's going to be points. I just can't see it, going on the under. So I'll pass to you, see what kind of kicker knowledge we can get for filling out these lineups.
Well, this is one of the rare weeks where I do like both sides of the ball for the kickers lately. I'll go to the favored side for me personally, and we'll go over to the Chiefs and Harrison Butker. 14 fantasy points last week. He's averaging 8.8 on the year. However, if you look at his last 4 weeks, and this is going to be the trend between both of them, it's 14, 13, 9, and 12. So over 3 of those 4 weeks, he's over 10 fantasy points now. Not a bad way to round out a lineup, depending on what you're looking at for filling and with how much money you have left in your options. 87% on the year for field goals. 56 is his longest. However, one quick note here, and this is why I favor Butker over the other side of the ball. 6+ 50-yarders kicked, which is great. And then, of course, 95% on his extra points. I think most kickers, 95% or 100. If we up to the other side of the ball, we got Dustin Hopkins here. You know what? Funny enough, same exact fantasy points per game. However, he only has started playing since week 7. But if you look at his last 4 weeks, it's 13, 11, 1, and 12. So one game, big outlier there. We're only at 1 point. And he's only kicked 1+ 50-yarder this year. So, it seems like he's getting a lot of points when the Chargers get the ball nice and deep and they just need him to get the chip shot. That's why I kind of lean towards Butker, because no matter where you are on the field, he'll probably get you those extra points. But yeah, one of those weeks where I think you could really fill in on either side. Hopkins is obviously the cheaper option. But yeah, great week for kicking here. How about Kaimi Fairbairn with that beautiful bomb this weekend?
I didn't see it, so I'll have to go watch it now that you mention it. So.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, anything else to add in here, Terry?
No, I got Saturday football this week, so it's a good week for football. So
yeah, and I'm going to the hockey game tonight. So beautiful day for hockey. It snowed about 4 feet here today.
Lovely.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We're almost cruising into the playoffs here. Week 15 already. I can't believe it. But yeah, let us know who you guys are taking in the comments. And yeah, give us a like, subscribe if you really like it. See you next week. Peace.